Hey guys, I just wanted to make a video kind of like teaching about these carnivorous plants and taking a break from like care and more so how they actually function and how they earn the title of carnivorous. All these plants are carnivorous in their own unique ways due to evolution and things like that, and they're all beautiful yet savage in their own ways. So we could start off with some Venus flytraps here. Right, so all these Venus flytraps, right, they have the rhizome in there, then they have a leaf, this photosynthesizes, and you got the actual trap. All these traps, in pictures, these are all modified leaves. So this still photosynthesizes and stuff. But inside the trap, it's a little bit hard to see on camera. If I look at this plant, it's kind of more obvious. You could see there, because these have nice red trigger hairs. But on each leaf, there are typically 3 trigger hairs on each side. And if 2 trigger hairs are, touched or triggered within the span of 20 seconds, that's when the trap will snap close. And the reason it is designed like that, is to prevent the trap from snapping on like a drop of rain or a leaf or something like that. Because every time these traps are closing, that requires a lot of energy. It's like a plant is literally moving. So of course, just don't go in and touch it or trigger the traps for fun. Resist that temptation. It's just really not good for the plant to do that, Sometimes it will miss the insect and it'll fly back out, and the trap will close, but it'll open back up once it detects that it has nothing inside. But if an insect is actually in there and it keeps stimulating those trigger hairs, keeps running around there once it's closed, then the trap's like, oh, I really actually got something. And let's see if I could find one, kind of. I guess here. The trap will begin to make a seal. This is going to seal tight, seal shut. I have none. This guy's sealed shut. Yeah, there we go. Sealed shut, and it will start secreting the digestive enzymes, and the plant will drown or die to the acid and be digested. And this happens over the course of 1 to 2 weeks ish, and the plant will open up, and as you can see there's just the carcass of a fly, just shriveled and shrunken, and that's gonna stay there. And you don't have to go in with tweezers and take that out. That's supposed to be there. It actually that little dead insect can actually attract other insects who'd be to think that's a free meal, and the flytrap is another meal. And if that doesn't happen, the rain and stuff and the wind will just naturally just blow that out of there, but that's fine. But yeah, you could see a fly that got caught. You could see another example over here. Look at that, just these flies. See these guys, these are good examples of sealed fly traps. That's pretty much it for their trapping mechanisms. Just a basic overview. I guess now I'll talk about pitcher plants, right? Many different types of pitcher plants. These are North American pitcher plants, or Sarracenia. I'll just use this one for demonstration since it's the biggest and it's easiest to kind of show how it functions. So these plants, same with the flytrap, and they're all secreting delicious smelling nectar that the insects will be, of course, very attracted to. Actually, when the nectar actually has addictive properties and psychiatric, however you pronounce them, properties that can slow down the nervous system of the insect, and it's very cool. If you have a pitcher plant and you see a fly or something just drinking a bunch of nectar, it could be dead. He could just fall down here and just lay down. He's so drunk. Or he could just pick him up and he won't even really squirm. It's really interesting. The drug actually is found in pitcher plants. It's called conine. You can do your own research and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the actual drug. So if you're a flying insect, right? If you're a bee or a wasp, or these plants aren't trying to trap bees, but flies, moths, whatever. You're a flying insect and you smell that beautiful nectar. This lid here is a good landing pad. That's one of the functions of it. So you come and land here. The edge of these lids create a lot of nectar. Just all around the lid, just has a lot of nectar. You can see those little red marks. Those are nectar burns. That's when it secretes a drop of nectar, and if it's really hot in direct sun, it will kind of burn the nectar on the leaf. That's completely normal. Don't worry about that happening. The nectar can also mold a little bit, so also don't worry about that. But it'll drink all the nectar, and the highest concentration of nectar on all these pitcher plants is going to be right here in the throat. You can see I feel it. It's very sticky. Just like a thick, like sludge, just like tons of nectar there. And this little lip they have is also quite slippery. It's very slippery, especially on the inside of the pitcher. It's just very slippery, which is of course intentional, and in theory, the insects will go under, get that beautiful lid, kind of go more inside the trap a little bit, or just slip and fall in. And inside, these plants use gravity. They can't really get out. It's the inner walls of the pitcher are very slippery. They can't get a grip, and some of them have like downwards pointing hairs and things like that to keep them in, and then they are digested. The plant secretes digestive enzymes. If you're a crawling insect, you're an ant or something, and you're on the floor, this little, let me get, yeah. You see how all these pitcher plants have this little, leaf extension here? I forgot the name. I think it's like a petiole or letiole, something like that. You have this little leaf. On the tip of the leaf, there's this red line that goes all the way down. This secretes nectar. So the insect will follow that nectar trail all the way up to the tip of the mouth and slip in. In theory. Some insects are fine and they don't slip in, and they drink nectar and they fly away or whatever. But most of them, or a good amount, will get caught, and that's what they need. Trust me, these pitchers will be full of insects by the end of the year. Absolutely full. I have actually, in terms of escaping, pretty much all these plants. Wasps are very, very strong insects. Same thing with beetles. Wasps and beetles, I've both seen them push their way out of fly traps. They're very strong in that matter. But especially wasps, they also have very, very strong mandibles. Mandibles are like the teeth, or like the jaws of an insect. And I've seen them, chew holes and escape pitcher plants. And it's pretty amazing. It's rare to see that happen, but it's pretty crazy. That's Mother Nature, and that trap's still fine. Maybe some insects will find a little latch out, but it still can catch insects just fine if that happens. Sometimes the wasp will have a hole and it'll go up and it'll go back in. It's like an endless loop. It's pretty funny. But I recorded a video of when I came outside and I saw a wasp chewing a hole out of a pitcher plant, and he eventually flew out. Maybe I'll post that on the channel at some point. But yeah, that's the pitcher plants. You can see this nice beautiful one coming up. This is my nice big flop I just used for demonstration. All these work the same, Nectar up here, slippery rams. It's just the best for a nice visual example and showing you guys all the parts of the pitcher. Just like that. Now, pitcher plants take on a little bit different forms. Not all of them are such tall like that. For example, there are pitcher plants that lie low to the ground, like these, like Purpurea here. Unlike those Saracenia, don't have a lid. Oh yeah, this lid, like I said, it acts as a landing pad, but the second purpose of it is to also block out rain from filling the pitchers, because rain will just overflow and it'll like dump the digestive enzymes and all the insects out, and it's just, that's not supposed to happen, you know. These Purpurea here, you could see they have no lid. You could see right in there, and there's water in there, and that's intentional. When it rains, these pitchers will fill up with water, and of course also just secrete digestive enzymes, and it's pretty much the same function. You know, there's nectar. This little lip here is very slippery. You can see on there's also all these downward pointing hairs, and they'll slip in and they will end up drowning, since it's like a whole pool of water in there. And unlike those plants, they don't need gravity to assist them, they just need a pool of water, and the insect really cannot escape the pool of water, and they will drown and they will die. And that's Purpurea. Another type of Sarracenia, and unfortunately does not get much love in the carnivorous plant community, which is such a shame, but it's so cool and beautiful, is Psittacina, or the parrot pitcher plant. These are very unique. They're also like lay low to the ground, you know, they'll never like go super high. So if you're growing these plants like indoors under grow lights, it's best to get ones like this, because if you get ones like this, then they'll just like grow up to the top of the grow light, and that's not too good. But these guys, you kind of see, if you can see it on camera, they have a little hole on like the inside of the beak in there. It's kind of hard to see because it's very small. So I could show you guys there. You can see that? There's a little hole in there. And in the wild, these plants, actually, some of them can grow like inside little ponds and lakes and things. And when it floods in their natural habitat, these plants are actually fine and they float. These little things actually act as like little like buoyancy things. They could fill them air and they keep the plant like, you know, partially above the water surface, and partially some get under the water, which is actually another part, and another like little cool part about this plant, that they could actually catch little fish and little swimming creatures like that. They've been found to have little fish, little tadpoles, little things like that digested in there. And when these plants are in the water and stuff like that, the fish can go in there, just like that. Of course, when you're growing them, you don't have to grow them in water, you know. Some of them just grow on like nowhere even near a source of water, really. But some do, and it's just a cool little aspect of it, of this plant. You can see I don't have mine. I don't like flood mine or grow mine in water. But yeah, it's kind of hard to. This one's like very interesting how it catches insects, and I can't really remember the top of my head because it's so interesting. But I was just reading about it in my book. But basically, like once they go in, it's like they can't find the exit. It's very hard to find the exit. And they have all these little light windows. A lot of carnivorous plants have these light windows. It's very interesting. Like Leucophylla has it, and Minor uses it, where those light windows allow light to pass through, and it looks like it's the exit. So the plant will go to the light windows, and inside here there's a lot of downward facing hairs. And once they're in, they can't get out. It's like they'll pierce their bodies and kill them if they go outside, if they try and go against the hairs. So they have to just keep going down towards the stomach. And this is, I don't know if I explained it that good. If you're interested, you could read it out online. This is like the most savage and horrific carnivorous plant in terms of how it traps the insects. Like they literally have to it's like they have to walk into needles and kill themselves, or they just walk into the stomach by themselves. Like they're not falling. They just have to just walk into death. It's a very horrific carnivorous plant. Again, read more about it online if you're interested. I also this just caught my eye. You could see this spider that's been digested in there. All these plants, they work. It's not a myth. It's like, oh, why would an insect ever fall for that? You'll see if you have these plants, they catch tons of insects. And there's many other categories of carnivorous plants I don't have on me, but the third one that I do, sorry for that loud noise, like the AC just turned on, like the big generator thing, are sundews. These use the power of stickiness, I guess. Like, they're like glue traps, pretty much. So they'll have these nice leaves, and they have all these little tentacles, and every tentacle is coated with a little drop of dew, and the dew is very, very sticky. You can see I'll put my finger on it, and that one wasn't such a good one. This one doesn't have a ton of dew. You can see how it's kind of like stuck to my finger, and it kind of pulls, and it's kind of stringy. My finger is sticky now. And you can see, it's kind of hard to see, but this little insect there, these sundews will catch more like tiny insects. Little like gnats and things like that are really good, but you know, larger insects are more for like the Venus flytraps and the Sarracenia and stuff. But these will be amazing at catching those tiny little gnats. And I've seen like big crane flies get caught up in here. You know, all it takes is like one leg, and oh, look at that fly. See? I was just talking about that. See how he lands on the lid? I could see him drinking nectar. Ain't that neat? Look at that happen right in front of us. That's so cool. Unless maybe he'll fall in there. I'll keep an eye on it in the corner of my eye. But yeah, these sundews here, Drosera capensis, actually will move around the insect they caught. These just stay still, and they'll catch insects, and the leaves will secrete digestive enzymes. But these, when they detect, you know, a moving insect, they will actually wrap around. Like you kind of see this one's kind of like wrapping. Sometimes just the tentacles will wrap around, or if it's big, you know, the whole leaf will wrap around. And do the same thing, you know, secrete those digestive enzymes that I'm gonna keep saying, because that's all these plants have. They're all digesting. Wait, I forgot. The last little carnivorous plant that I have, kind of forgotten because it's very, very tiny, is Utricularia, or the bladderwort. You can see they make these little flowers, but the actual plant, you can see that on camera, are these little spoon-shaped leaves you can see in there. There's a lot in here, but they're just such a tiny little plant. The magic of bladderworts happens under the soil. The part that you don't see, the savage part, happens under the soil. On the top, just cute little flowers, but under the soil, kind of hence the name bladderworts. They have these little bladders that have trigger hairs similar to Venus flytraps, and when little, like, you know, microscopic, like, little organisms and all the things that live in the soil touch those trigger hairs, the lid opens, and this like vacuum that's like 1/20th of a second or something like that. It's like the strongest vacuum, nature made or man made, ever discovered, sucks these insects in like at the speed of light, and the trap closes, and the lid closes, and it digests them. And that's so amazing. It's like I can't see any of that happening, but just know under the soil that's happening, which is pretty just crazy. They're so inconspicuous, so tiny. That's why I forgot about them. And I'm sorry, no respect to the bladderworts. There's many different types. These are terrestrial ones. They're ones that will float in the water, and they catch little water insects, like things like that. That's gonna be the end of the video. Like I said, research these more if you're curious. My phone's like about to die. It's running low on battery. I gotta end it now. End the video now. Yeah, all these plants are savage in their own ways, and so beautiful and cool in the way they do it, and that makes them amazing. So, see you guys. Bye.